year finished 18th, and we lost by 100 points. That was great. But this week, we're the NFC North representatives going up against some people that are representing the Packers, the Bears, and the Vikes. And hopefully Jeff can finally sniff some cash. But I did have Madison ranked pretty high there. All right, here is the Bills and the Dolphins. Allen firing a wild pass on 3rd and 4. You just wonder how much longer you're going to have. McDermott's going to keep the starters in there. That's why the line flipped. And so far it's Dolphins 3-0 in that one. That line was Buffalo -3 all week, and then Miami closed at -3 today. So numbers on these 1 o'clock games. Just wanted to give you a couple of these betting nuggets that I find fascinating. How about Miami and Buffalo? First off, this is a weird game because Buffalo's going to rest a lot of players. Buffalo's covered 7 straight, but Miami 15-5 against the number in its past 20 games as a dog, and they did start this week as a dog. They have 4 consecutive covers in that spot. They're also 15-9 against the spread as an underdog against under coach Brian Flores. So even though the line flipped like right before the game started, they really were an underdog all week. So I think those numbers come into play there. On the Atlanta-Tampa game, Tampa 9-0 outright against teams with winning records this year. Atlanta's 0-7 outright against teams with winning records. But remember, they've been playing, as I mentioned, much harder under Raheem Morris since he took over early in the season, after Dan Quinn got fired. And I know that in all their losses, they've been by 7 or less for the Atlanta Falcons since Morris took over. And, I don't think he's getting the job either to Jay Glazer on the Fox pregame show today. But, boy, he's been something to behold the way this team has played. Remember, they beat the Jets, the Cowboys, the Seahawks. They won 3 games in a row. Lost the Dolphins, beat the Bills. I'm looking at the wrong team there. But they've played some really good football the last several weeks, and they were ahead big against the Bucs the last time they played them. Ended up losing 31-27. But they did have that winning streak where they beat the Panthers and the Broncos back to back, and then the Raiders 3 of 4 in between. They had the Saints game where they lost 24-9. That's the one where they lost by more than 7. And that's right. Every other game they lost under Morris, except for that Saints game, has been 7 or less. And, they lost the Saints again by 5, the Chargers by 3, the Bucs by 4, the Chiefs by 3 last week. So that team fighting very hard under Raheem Morris. All right, here's where we're at. The Ravens, quote them nevermore. We have another touchdown, JFK, and it's Lamar Jackson to Boykin, 43 yards. It's 10-0 Ravens. Remember, the Ravens have a lot on the line as far as playoff seeding, as well as clinching. They win, they're in. But you look at Baltimore right now, they can move up to the 5 spot, which gives them a different matchup. Based on what happens with the teams ahead of them, you're going to have the top 4 seeds, of course, all have a home playoff game, but then you look at the 5, 6, and 7 seeds, you have a chance to be a home team or to have a home game in one of those scenarios as well. So right now you've got the Ravens up 10-0, Miami up 3-0. They're going to get the ball back there. The Vikes have tied the game, or taken the lead, 7-6, because Matt Prater missed the extra point after the Lions. Marv Jones Jr. touchdown, which was brilliant. 43 yards for Matthew Stafford. Falcons add a field goal and make it 7-3. But now the Bucs just added a Ryan Suckup 28-yarder. So it is 10-3. Tampa, Brady, Dallas, and the Giants continue. And the Cowboys have just gotten the ball back. They'll have it 1st and 10 at their own 20. They got a fumble that helped them get that field goal. It's 6-3 as Graham Ganote it. He missed the extra point after the Sterling Shepard 23-yard touchdown. By the way, I think most big fantasy leagues are not in the championship game in Week 17 unless you have a 2-week championship game. I used to run a league. There was a PPR league back in my Jay Alexander's restaurant days that we called Maui Medium Rare. We did it. We did have our title game in Week 17, which is a risk because a lot of players get sat. But I think most leagues have finished their title games. All the leagues that I'm in have. And I want to congratulate all the champs. It's not easy to do. I was the champion of my big league last year, and this year I didn't make the playoffs. It is really tough, especially in this COVID year. It was really tough. But if you're playing for a title today, maybe you got a question for the 4 o'clock games for a starter sit, text them in, fire a call in, 248-539-9797. I'm not like, Matthew Berry, but I'm pretty good with fantasy stuff, and I've helped some of you this year, and you thank me on Twitter, etc. So I'm happy to do that and give you my 2 cents at least. 248-539-9797. Now, JFK, my fine producer today, I know that you were in 6 leagues this year. You missed the playoffs in every single league. have you decided to give up fantasy because you're so bad at it? I'm kidding.
Oh, hell no. You kidding me? Absolutely
How did you do in your leagues? What's the name of your team, by the way?
Well,
Mine's Eye of the Jew. It's a brilliant name.
Well, I actually only did one league this year. It's just a 4-man all-star league with my family. They've been wanting to get into fantasy football for a while, so we decided.
What's a 4-team all-star league?
Basically, you'll get players that are going to be starting.
Yeah, well, you have 4 teams.
Unfortunately, it looks like I'm going to be fourth place. Did not do well. Looks like my brother's going to win it all because he had Alvin Kamara.
Well, I beat my dad in our family league. And I taught my nephew Oren the O was a big lesson in the semis. The name of my nephew's team was the best players, and I said, Oren, sorry, you don't have the best players, but he loves it. He really gets into it. And the night of the draft, it was during all the shutdown stuff, and I remember going to my sister's house, and we had a bonfire, and we're drafting outside, and he was so excited. He's like, "No, you don't take." I could have taken Mahomes, his favorite player, and Mahomes helped me win the title last year. I love him. I drafted him in my other big league this year, and I purposely let him take him. So that's the one thing I did for him. But I played him, 3 times this year and beat him twice, and I did not take it easy on him. And I know he's 10, but I'm not taking a thing easy. Here's the Lions with a big run by DeAndre Swift. Or no, I'm sorry, that is not DeAndre Swift. That is Adrian Peterson, who's in the game now, about a 40-plus yard run. And the Lions, offensively so far, look pretty good against this Vikings defense. That is going to go from the 25 all the way into Vikings territory. And Adrian Peterson, at 64 years old, looking pretty nimble much of this year when he's been healthy for the Lions. Some more numbers for you I wanted to throw out for the 4 o'clock games when it comes to San Fran and Seattle. And, remember, if you're looking at the Seattle Seahawks, as far as the race for the 1 seed, if they win, they need a New Orleans loss and a Green Bay loss. They can have that 1 seed and get the bye. And they play an undermanned and kind of banged up San Fran team, and of course led by Robert Saleh and his defense. And Saleh, one of the hottest coaching candidates who will definitely get a job. I know he's meeting with Atlanta, I think on Monday, and he's going to be a head coach this year for sure. And I know a lot of you want him here in Detroit. But taking a look at some numbers in that game, San Fran just 1-6 against the spread. Seattle's -7 in that one. At home this season, Seattle's able to cover though in 5 straight road games. But the Seahawks 14-4 against the number against Frisco since 2012. Couldn't get cover in Week 8 this season. Seattle was only favored by 1 point in that game. And then the Packers-Bears, Chicago's covered 3 straight. They're catching anywhere between 4.5 to 5.5 against the Packers. And the scenarios again for that game are pretty simple. The Bears win and they're in, but they also can get in with a loss and a loss and a Cardinals loss. Cardinals clinch with a win, Rams clinch with a win, or a Bears loss. That's the 3 teams, as Hockenson makes a catch there for a first down for the Detroit Lions. Also, when you look at the Raiders and Broncos, meaningless game for 2 teams that definitely had their expectations missed this year. Vegas has not been favored on the road in Denver since '95. That was 25 years ago. They're a 2.5-point favorite. And Vegas has also covered 5 straight meetings in that series. All right. We've got 7 1 o'clock games. Every game's got a score. Most of them have touchdowns. Let you know what's going on with all those. Up to the second coming up next. 248-539-9797 is your telephone number. It's Game Day Central around the league. Week 17. Right here on 97.1.
Start enforcing some of these rules. In the grass is the counter to players getting flagged for unnecessary roughness. Because the league wants to have its cake and eat it too here. They want more offense. They want the players to they want the stars in the league to shine, but don't hurt the quarterbacks. Okay. Well, then start calling in the grass.
Karsh and Anderson middays, 97.1. The Ticket. Mike Valenti, afternoon.
Want to see if you can name all 68 nicknames. We're going to give you 5 minutes to do so.
TCU, Corn Frogs, Bucknell, Bison, Rhode Island, Rams, Duke, Blue Devils, and Iona. Dales, go bleep yourself. 3 minutes flat. You're a madman. My God. 3 minutes flat.
That's insane. I guess we owe him lunch. He just walked out of the studio, by the way, people.
He's walking away, bitch.
Threw his hat down, pranced out of the studio, so just over 3 minutes.
Does that make me a winner, or am I really just a loser? I think that's really the debate, David.
Mike Valenti, afternoons 2 to 6 on 97.1 The Ticket. Karsh and Anderson middays.
He broke into the bank.
Wait, was it Hugh?
It sounded a little like Hugh Perkins there at the end, didn't it?
What the hell, yeah. Yeah. My man broke into a bank to go to the microwave in the break room for a Hot Pocket. Now,
The sole purpose of breaking into the bank was to use the microwave oven.
in the break room. Now,
Not to rob the bank.
No. I mean, one, if you're that committed to reheating your Hot Pocket and you go to the lengths of breaking into a bank, you could indeed go to the vault and try and get some money and then go buy a microwave to heat up your Hot Pocket. That might be the long... That would be the long view if you're this criminalist. How can I not have this problem again where I need to break into a bank to reheat a Hot Pocket? The one way I can do this is steal the money to go buy a microwave.
Karsh and Anderson middays, 97.1 The Ticket. Mike Valenti, afternoon.
See, I disagree with a couple of the old fellas there. I would not have them in that top tier. I would not have Brady up there. No way, no how. I think Brady now is down at tier 2. Don't make me put him in tier 3.
Mike Valenti, afternoons 2 to 6 on 97.1 The Ticket.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is.
She could also make monsters disappear.